Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Throttle Up Aviation. Now, for those of you that are new, and you probably will be, because I'm pretty sure this is either going to be the second or third video uploaded to the channel completely, welcome to Throttle Up Aviation. At Throttle Up Aviation, as you saw in the intro, we do aircraft reviews, group flights, and today, you know what we're doing? We're starting off with our first or second aircraft review on the Carenado Cessna 182 Skylane. This thing is absolutely awesome, in my opinion. People have hated it because it's the first plane that actually came out for, that Carenado brought out for flight sim. This plane is absolutely magnificent. So, today I'm going to teach you about it, and, pardon me, we're going on a little flight around Wetaskiwin. Maybe we'll go up to Edmonton, who knows. And, yeah, so first of all, let's get fired up. My battery didn't turn off. There it is. And, full disclosure, I am using the Freeware, working Untitled G1000 in this aircraft. Alright, there we go. We got oil pressures coming up. We got fuel flow. Everything looks great. Okay, so just out of the gate with the aircraft, it already looks and sounds amazing. The startup sound was awesome. Everything about this aircraft was completely handmade and is awesome. Set our barometric pressure. Don't know why it's only showing 2992. Should be a little bit different than that, but it's not. Anyway, so let me turn on some lights here. Just get all my lights on, because why not? So, the Cessna Skylane. Now, if you click this or whatever, you have a little tablet, which you can either choose to show or hide, open or close pilot door, baggage door, tow bar, you could put that on, external power and static elements. And on the next page, you can select your startup options, you know, golden dark, ready for taxi, ready for takeoff, etc. All of those are out of the little tablet here, and you get it by just clicking in the center of the yoke on the Skylane logo. And if you want to get rid of it, you hit the little button on the iPad thing. Turn our parking brake off here. Let me get 360'd around here. So, this is a beautiful... What's going on with my... There it is. This is a beautiful livery made that I found on the flightsim.to store for this aircraft. It's older style livery, which I like quite a bit. Because I like the newer Skylanes because of their mean-looking cowling, but I love the older style paint jobs, like this one is. So, Cessna 182, very simply, you have a 235 horsepower turbocharged Lycoming IO540 engine, paired to a usually 3-blade propeller, and you can cruise at about 140 knots in this aircraft. I've had it all the way up to 190 knots at 13,500 feet in cruise. And that's how fast I've had it up to. I'm sure you can get it faster. I think I actually, in a descent with a 20 knot tailwind, had it up to 200 knots ground speed. Now, taking a look at the interior of the aircraft, all the switches and everything are modeled absolutely perfectly in Carenado fashion. All of the textures look fantastic. You have all of the prop controls and mixture controls are fully working, along with some bits don't work, like all of the circuit breakers don't work. And I'm 90% sure that's because the sim hasn't put anything in to make them work. But your cabin heat and cabin air both work, along with your flap lever and your autopilot. Taking a look down, you have your fuel tanks. You have 87 gallons usable fuel, and usually you're going to leave it on both since you have the higher wings. You're allowed to gravity feed it into the engine with the engine-driven fuel pump. You don't need to switch between the left and the right tank. It just automatically is pulling from both of them since they're high. You've got your trim here, which is full range of motion, of course. I like to take off a little bit after that because the plane takes off nicer. You also have calo flaps, which are opened and closed using this little button here usually, but they're not working right now. But they do work because if I have them closed, and let's go to the external view of the aircraft. Is Coop around here somewhere? Coop, I believe, is doing a review on the Turbo Arrow right now. So if you look here, cowl flap on that side's closed and cowl flap on that side's closed. What if we go back inside? We can push it halfway open. And they're halfway open, like on that side and that side. And then you'll see that if I pull it all the way open, they are fully open, allowing more air to enter the engine to cool it down. Most of the time, though, I leave those closed on takeoff. Your rudder trim, to trim the aircraft out in the rudder, I haven't found a use for it yet, but I'm sure I'll find something. Oh wow, they actually coupled both of those together now. Awesome. You've got a quartz up here that tracks your time. Unless you uninstall and reinstall the aircraft, then that resets. Because I've got way more than 0.3 hours on the aircraft. Other than that, you have fully functioning windows and doors. You open it up, the plane gets louder. You close it, plane gets quieter. You can open the door. I'm pretty sure you can open the window and the door at the same time. Same thing on the passenger side. Window opens, door opens, door and window both open. The seatbelts are static, unfortunately, so you can't put on and off seatbelts. This is a 4-seater aircraft, and you can see out the back window. One problem that there is with this airplane is I can't see that beautiful wing without changing my view, which I haven't really figured out how to make the, how to change all of the, how to change all the views yet. But I'm sure I can figure it out, because I'd love to be able to just see a view kind of like this. I just kind of move my free look camera around here. Gotta slow my my drone down here. He's way too fast. Drone speed 1%. I'd love to be able to see that beautiful Cessna wing that they always have, but then, you know what? I can't see over the dash. I'm like a minion sitting in here, which is definitely less than ideal. So, other than that, your checklists are not with you in the aircraft, I don't believe. Yeah, they're static over here. However, they do come with checklists in the aircraft folder. Like I said, everything over here is completely functional, and if I turn it to nighttime, I can turn up all of the panel lighting on the Skylane. Looks like a basic Skylane. It's got beacon lights. You have your navigational lights with your strobes and your 2 lining lights out on the wing in classic Cessna fashion. And again, like I said, full disclosure, this is a this is the updated G1000 from Working Title Simulations. It's currently in beta stages in the Microsoft Flight Sim store. You can pick that up if you want to enhance your G1000, which everybody nowadays wants to enhance their G1000, because the G1000 just isn't awesome. So, we are on VATSIM network at this point, so we will be making communications as we go around and do a circuit at Wetaskiwin. A good thing to have, though, sometimes is the up and down, your upper look and lower look button binded. Because I like the upper look because I can see over the cowling and I can see what's in front of me. So, without further ado, I believe we should begin a little bit of a taxi here. Wetaskiwin Air Traffic, it's Foxtrot Echo Delta Sierra taxiing main apron Bravo for the backtrack runway 30 Wetaskiwin. So flying the 182, I've flown the aircraft for about 16 hours now over the previous couple of months. And I'm still learning new things about it, especially now with the new G1000 screen. It's interesting. All fairness, I should be doing this review with the default G1000, but everybody knows the default G1000. Carenado did not do anything special to it. All they did was just change it so it's like everything else. So this aircraft is turbocharged, so you do have a problem with manifold pressure at some altitudes. Carenado's not like Just Flight or anything where they actually modify any, or if they actually mod in or code in any engine destruction things. And I guess we're on VATSIM, nobody else is around, so we can do a quick run up. I like to run it up to 2,000 RPM. I wonder if that's Cooper right there. taxiing in from his flight. I can actually see that. I don't think it is. I think that's an AI. However, it would have been cool if it was Coop. So I'd like to run it up to about 1900, 2000 RPMs, 22-inch manifold pressure, and you cycle a prop. You do that 3 or 4 times, usually, or sorry, 2 or 3 times, usually is my go-to. Just gets hydraulic pressure into your constant speed propeller. There's 3. Wait for it to stabilize back out at 1900 RPMs. Sometimes it's a little shy, but a little... Oh, there it is. And a good thing to do is always do mag check. We have a 50 drop and return. We just make sure everything's working. Alternate air does not work, so you can't do an alternate air check, unfortunately. However, chances are you're not going to need to. So now that we are ready to rock and roll, we'll be joining the right-hand pattern for a touch and go, and then we'll be a departure onto a grass strip, so you guys can see the full capabilities of this aircraft. Let's rock and roll. Task and traffic, Echo Delta Sirius on the roll, 30. It's going to be staying in the pattern for left-hand patterns for Echo Delta Sierra. Task and traffic. That was a mucky call. You don't need flaps in this aircraft, however, I do like using them sometimes. I didn't use them today because the plane just takes itself off. 60 knots is a little slow in my opinion. I like to take off at about 65 today, but that's just what she wanted to do. So there we are, we're climbing out at 64 knots, which is a little bit slow. 61, we're at 60, we're climbing at 1,400 feet per minute. There's 3,000 feet. We can make our left crosswind turn. We want to make sure we're on the positive side of 60 in the climb. We won't stall above 60, but we definitely will stall if we go underneath 60. But as we kind of level out, pattern altitude at this airport is 3,500 feet. We'll be able to kind of level out and get on with our day. Oh yeah, I forgot when you right-click in this game, it likes to not let the aircraft function. So now, in my opinion, the aircraft is a little too touchy on the elevator. It takes a lot of trimming to get the aircraft into a very good position. Like, see, I'm still in a climb that I don't like, and we're going to pull this thing back to 2,300 RPM. We'll pull it back to 27 inches of manifold pressure. Task traffic, Echo Delta Sierra is picking the left downwind turn now, runway 30 for the touch and go. So we'll make our turn here onto our downwind turn. We're looking for heading 120 because we took off 30, so we're looking for the opposite of 30, which will be 120. We'll lock that in. I overshot a little bit. And if you ever need to get a look at the ground, you just can really quickly reach out of your back pocket and pull out your glasses so you can climb up. Your milk glasses that allow you to see higher up. See, right now we're cruising comfortably. We're in a 500 foot per minute descent at 131 knots, 142 knots ground speed. Of course, you're always going to be slower the lower you are. It's hot outside. It's 26 degrees Celsius currently. Task traffic. Echo Delta Sierra is joining left base, runway 30 for the touch and go. Now we're coming onto base. I'm going to start pulling the power back. So far the aircraft feels awesome in the hand. It's very responsive rudder, and it has very responsive ailerons, as you saw there. So we're going to keep our turn coming in. I made a really wide pattern for some reason. We're just going to let the aircraft slow down. Now I'm looking to punch about 70 knots in on approach. Or sorry, I'm looking to punch about 65 knots in on approach. This plane just looks awesome when it's flying with the swept back tail and the mean looking cowling. This thing is better than a 172 in every way, shape, or form except in the gas bill. So there we go, we're on downwind 80 knots. We'll give it 2 notches of flaps. We're going to go prop full forward, mixture rich. And we're looking for 65 knots. There's 65. Wetaska traffic, Echo Delta Sierra's turning final now. Runway 30 for the touch and go. Under the go, it's going to be a right-hand turnout, direct creek view. And we're looking there. We're 500 feet above the ground. final now. Put our third notch of flaps in. Usually you should do that on your base turn, but we're looking to aim for 65 knots. Gotta watch for those high tension power lines. I'm a little bit lower than I would have anticipated and liked. See, I'm a little slow too. Low and slow. Two combinations you don't want to have very often. As we get over the numbers, I'm going to bring that power all the way back to neutral and slam into the ground nice and hard. We're going to let the flaps retract before we add any power. Once those are fully retracted, we're going to roll in the power. Flaps are coming up, flaps are coming up. There's the flaps, and now we begin our takeoff again. Again, plane likes to rotate 60, 65. There's 65, we're up. We'll begin a transition into a more nose up kind of thing here. So good thing to do is click your CDI button a couple times till you get GPS en route. Then once we're coming up on 4,000 feet, I'll level the plane out and do everything it wants me to do. Get all the cleanup items here, pull that power back to 2,300 RPM and 27 inches of manifold pressure. Leave my mixture just a little bit. Autopilot will come on, navigation mode will come on, and altitude hold will come on. I will also spin it down to 4,100 feet, hit arm, and then hit down on it, just so I can get a descent going here. Automatically, I'll just switch to alt mode, because we're really close to 4,000 feet. And the little old Skylane is flying itself. I mean, Carenado quality is top-notch. You get the HD 4K textures on all of these aircraft. I mean, look at this plane. It just looks fantastic. Why does he want me to contact him? I'm not in your airspace. I'm not contacting you. That's my luck, though. And quick traffic. Accurate Delta Sierra's crossing midfield, joining the right-hand downwind runway 23. Alright, we're coming to now. There we go, quick view traffic, Echo Delta Sierra is turning short final now, runway 23, full stop, quick view. We want to watch the wing on those trees there, so we'll stay high. And we're looking for a more firm landing. Alright, there we go. Since it's grass, we're looking for a more firm landing. See there's where that elevator really becomes effective, where it's a little too steep. That was an awesome textbook grass landing. Not really, a little bit rougher than I would have liked. Get our flaps coming up as soon as we hit the ground to give us maximum braking force. Power's idle, and we can turn our fuel pump off. Quick view traffic, I get Delta Sierra, clear 2-3. Alright everyone, so here we are, we're parked now in Creek View. And the awesomest, the best thing about it is I can actually just sit here and listen to the plane roar. This plane's absolutely amazing for the dollar. I love it, and some people don't like it, but I don't actually see why, because it's just an awesome airplane in my opinion. It performs absolutely amazing. It's good for people who don't want the added expense of having a gear and having to remember one more thing to switch up either on their switch panel or on the keyboard. And the Cessna 172 is no match for the 182, clearly. But the 182 truly is a workhorse aircraft that can haul a lot, and it is very capable. And I'm glad to be able to fly it. So, I guess to end the video off, let's get into the shutdown procedure. So first things first, I want to make sure all of our electrics are off, so we're going to turn all of our lights off. Make sure our strobe lights and beacon lights are off. Fuel pump's off. We're also going to do a dead mag check, which means we're going to rev it up to 1,000 RPM. So we're going to go left, right, off, then back to both. The airplane should kind of die, and then once I turn it back to both, continue running, knowing that our mags are actually going to die. Because if I turned my key all the way to off and the plane still ran, I know I've got a problem with my magnetos. So, everything's good. Turn our avionics master off. We don't worry about the 1 because that's not going to hurt anything, because that one is prone to alternate over to battery issues, over voltage, and varying voltage, I believe. And then all we're going to do is we're going to ease back that mixture control. And of course, in classic FS2020 fashion, it automatically brings up the checklist for the end of flight thing. So we're going to turn mags off, and then the battery comes off as well. We can open the door, and we can step outside for a refreshing beverage. Overall, my thoughts on the Cessna Skylane are none other than absolutely awesome. The plane is completely handcrafted from the ground up. It looks absolutely phenomenal. Between the textures, the way it flies is absolutely awesome. You pick up some extra liveries like this one I got from the flightsim.to store. It'll be linked down below, along with the working title G1000. I believe we can also put a link down below for it. Other than that, guys, I appreciate you guys watching the Cessna 182 review. Out of 5 stars, I will give it a solid 4.5. You know what? I'll give it 4. Places it needs to work on is the very, 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 very unpredictable elevator controls. It's very jerky, and I pulled back even a little bit, and it just got to that point where it was really jerky, and I did not quite like that. Another thing is the view is not great because the wings are in the way, unfortunately. And with the big dash fitting those two 10-inch G1000s, it can get crowded in there. But overall, it's a great plane to pack full of gear, fuel, and people, and head out into the backcountry. You can go land on grass strips and stuff out there and go for a nice camping. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching this video. If you did enjoy, please make sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more like this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Appreciate you guys watching Throttle Up Aviation. Warm tailwinds.